Hi, this is Adam from Young Medicine. So today I'd like to talk about forever. We sometimes call it pure forever to distinguish it from immortality forever because as a result of the making of immortality forever, which is quite strong, um, we wanted to have a remedy which continued with the effects of the Ushnisha Vijaya mantra, which is doing all the miraculous work. People are getting miraculous healings from it and curing diseases. There's a whole range of different things that are happening. But what we found, because I made it quite strong, because I wanted to be quite stimulating, was that some people could take it a couple of days, then it might stop them sleeping because there was too much immortality. Um, Although that effect does disappear. But the Pure Forever was the response to that. So what I put in the Pure Forever is the mantra, the Ushnisha Vijaya mantra. For those of you who don't know about this mantra, it was created as a result of one of the gods having to go to a lower rebirth, and then he begged the Buddha Amitabha, for a way out of his reincarnations. And this Amitabha Buddha sent his awareness in the 10 directions, and it touched the minds of millions of Buddhas, and then came back into his mouth, and then he chanted it. So, so this was, but it's designed to free you from a lot of the lower realms, from the obscuring emotions, even from bad reincarnations. And it's also one of the long life deities. So it's an incredibly powerful mantra which does all sorts of amazing things. So, I wanted to continue the effect of this mantra without having the strong immortality component, which is nice, but some days you want to take some time out, but still continue with the process, because obviously the more you do of this process, the cleaner you become. And then, the better the whole body works, the faster the mind works, the more connections are made, the more one's creativity sparks. People have been talking about the incredible creative aspects of this, that people are just full of creativity. They're just, musicians are like creating songs every single day. They're just a fountain of creativity. And I myself have found that as well. There's been a lot of, limitless possibilities, because the way we work, once we clear out a lot of the stuff that the Sushnisha clears out, is it clears out a lot of the habitual stuff, and we realize we're doing sort of fairly normal, habitual, generic stuff, which is not really the essence of creativity that we might want to be doing. So once you clear out a lot of that residue, plus a lot of the family residue and the habitual stuff and the unconscious and subconscious stuff, then you literally become this fountain of creativity. You find ways of doing things you hadn't thought of before. You get creative in very interesting ways, and you see possibilities where before there weren't any. And life generally becomes easy. That's the good part of this. And you actually, part of this mantra ensures that you don't go back into the lower realms. You don't get caught in the lower emotions and get stuck there and sort of dragged into a lot of the mess that creates. So you're actually evolving yourself as well from a spiritual perspective, and from a physical perspective, because everything is just running smoother because it's just better. So um, the other two components, or the three components in the Pure Forever, or sometimes I just refer to it as Forever, is there's creation, and everyone knows creation. Now, just a quick recap on creation. It's got it's when I was making creation, what I was thinking about was creating the best day ever. So I put in components like reishi and the Daza orchid and royal jelly, and what else did I put in there? Protein nectar and bee pollen, just to create this sense of I'm feeling fantastic, I'm feeling open. Of course, it's got the light of Jupiter in as well. So it gives you this feeling I'm open, I'm expansive, I'm playful, I'm having my best day ever. That was really how I designed this whole thing. So I wanted this to be given to people daily, so that while they're doing this purification process, they're feeling really good about themselves. They're feeling really solid about themselves. Uh, then because what we're doing with the Ushnisha is we're really pulling stuff out of ourselves. So we're clearing ourselves. It's a Kriya, which is a cleansing, it's called the Kriya Tantra. It's like one of the cleansing aspects. So what we're doing as we're pulling stuff out is I put the golden spiral in this pure forever, so that as we're kind of being pulled out of alignment, the golden spiral is sending this message to bring us back into alignment. So we're basically, on the one hand, we're clearing, but as stuff moves around when we clear, because if you want to clear, say, some stuff out of water, you're going to reach in and it's going to get muddy. Stuff's going to get moved around. So as you're pulling stuff out, so what this does, it just brings everything back to a more perfect form, where it's smoother, right? It's more, it runs more efficiently because we're more in alignment with the golden mean, which is what the golden spiral gives us. Just to recap a bit on the golden spiral, when people took it, there was a sense of the left and the right side of the face being more aligned, the left and the right side of the body coming into alignment, everything working on a more symmetrical level, if you like. Because obviously the golden spiral, the Fibonacci sequence, is what pretty much all life is built on. We find it in the shape of the ear, in the ratio of the hand, in the uterus. We find it in the growth of the baby, and sunflowers and galaxies and seashells. It's literally everywhere, this ratio. So when we consume this as a frequency, I've amplified the frequency, and we're consuming this, we're bringing ourselves back into alignment. So we've got the Ushnisha, we've got creation with all its feel-good stuff, and then we've got the golden spiral to bring us back into alignment. And then I put an adaptogen called Shazandra in. Now, the adaptogens, for those of you who might not know about them, I mean, it's hard not to have heard about them, but are a class of substances which help us to adapt better to stress. So, the most commonly known one is ginseng. There's ashwagandha, there's rhodiola, the licorice is an adaptogen, and then there's this Chinese one, Shazandra. And what it does is it helps everything just work better within the body. They say it boosts the jin in Chinese medicine. So it's like the wick of the candle gives us more wick of the candle, so that when we're burning it, we don't burn stuff down as quickly. We have more essence, in a sense, which means that as we're clearing stuff out and we're realigning, we're kind of returning ourselves to a good state, we're also helping the body to run more smoothly. It's like if you've taken things out, you're streamlining it. To be honest, no one really understands how the adaptogens work as a group. They're just this kind of semi-divine set of substances, plant medicines, all plant-derived, that help us to adapt to stress better. Some are more stimulating, like ginseng. Some are more sedating, like ashwagandha. But Shazandra is somewhere in the middle. It's not particularly stimulating. It's not particularly sedating. What they found with Shazandra, they did one test on racehorses, and they found that the racehorses could run faster and longer without getting tired. So it helps us become more adapted to the business of exercise, of living, and functionality. It just means that the whole system runs better. So what we have when we take these all together is a substance, this Pure Forever, which helps us really, be our best self, but it also continues this process of cleansing. So as we cleanse, we're moving stuff around. So it's really just sweeping up after we clean and putting us in the right space. Now, the immortality forever is like the supercharge, right? But this is like this Saturday, Sunday afternoon when we want to keep the process going, or if we're feeling too stimulated, we can take this. Sometimes, I'll take both because both together, but now I'm kind of used to it. But if I'm having a day off or a calm day, I'll just take the Pure Forever, just to give myself this feeling of feeling good, but knowing that this process of cleansing, purification is going on in the background. And that this cleansing process initiated by the Sushnisha Vijaya mantra is very much a stage thing. So look, we go through it, and then we go through the next stage, and each time we just get more and more refined. What I find is, like, all my interactions become more and more fluid. They become more and more seamless. Where I normally have a bit more grind, there's just a lot more fluidity. I notice even with my daughter, normally we would have a bit of like a at times, and now the comes up, and I'm just able to calm it down and then move it out of the picture and bring it back to a state of happiness, which is like, for me, that's, as a single parent, that's gold, because if we go into this headlock thing, it just becomes a nightmare. So it really shows us how we take control of the situation, and we're able to bring it back to the right outcome that we want without going into the reactive patterning. Now, the reactive patterning can look like anything from anger to sadness to depression to fear to jealousy. All of this is reactive patterning, and all of this is based on our original wounds, right? And obviously the stuff that got downloaded into our heads as children, and is now stuck in our subconscious and unconscious. But this forever is able to deal with that and bring it out. For people who really want the full effect of it all, the immortality forever is really great, because there's a strong blast of immortality and then this clearing. But for the more gentle folk, or people who want to take it more slowly, or want the option to slow it down, and that's really how it's used. People use their mortality forever until they're like, "Whoo, I need a bit of a break," and then they'll take the pure forever for a while. Now, the other substance that goes really well with this pure forever is immortality Gaia, because there's a mantra in the Gaia which talks nicely, in a sense, if you want to describe it like that, with the Ushnisha. So these two, and Gaia is really about being fully incarnated and here on the planet, right here at this time in this world right now. And I think everyone can do with that, because it's easy to be spun up by what's happening, often just eject into some fantasy or to some future projection or to some concern for the future or worry or some doomsday scenario. It's very easy to run into these scenarios because there's a lot of crazy stuff happening. And this really just earths us, all three of them. That's what I take in the morning. I take Gaia, I take pure forever, and I take immortality forever. It's like, and I know with that, I'm going to have a fantastic day. Now, most people will not take them all at the same time, but if you just want to take the pure forever and the Gaia on the off days just to keep the process going, then you know that the cleansing is continuing. And when I talk about cleansing, it's not like you're just doing a stomach cleanse. You're doing a psyche and emotional cleanse, but the patterning, the reactive patterning. So, they say you see how enlightened you are when you go visit your family. So this is where all the patterns really come up. And then you go into the habitual stuff because your brother or sister or your father triggers you. And this is where you really see improvement. You see, well, okay, I used to get triggered by this person, but now I'm not. And now I'm actually taking control of the situation because I'm not the reactive individual, and everyone's not seeing me as this angry person, or can't say this around this person. So I'm taking control of it, and I'm repatterning it for everyone, for all parties involved in this scenario. So that's really the benefit of pure forever, or just straight forever, and how to use it in conjunction with the immortality forever and the immortality Gaia for optimal results. Now, this is not meant to replace creation and golden spiral. It's just meant to be there as a way that we can move through a staging. There's still value in just taking creation or just taking golden spiral, but taking this, it's kind of designed specifically around this process of clearing of the psyche and the backstory. So it's almost like it was designed in as a, as a as something which would really help us to move through this. I mean, that's what I was thinking of when I made this. I was like, okay, what's going to help me move through this now? And that was the substance, and it really has made the process from something which could be quite confrontational to something which is now quite glorious. And I just know that every day I take this pure forever, the immortality forever, I'm getting cleaner and cleaner and less reactive and more pure, in the sense of less stained by the past, not pure in the sort of whatever white clothes sense, but like more stainless, like stainless steel. It's like I'm not stained by my own memory and my past and my own reactive patterning. So more stainless in that sense, and then more able to do what I need to do without getting caught in the habitual traps of reactive patterning, family angers, conflicts, family feuds, all that stuff. So this is really how we use all three together to create something very beautiful. This is Adam from Beyond Medicine, and we'll see you for the next episode.